Yo, what's up? It's your boy Stevie G coming at you with another episode of the Seamless Garage Podcast. Check it out. I got a really good one for you today. It's about setting up your work week as a technician. So this is for people who are already mechanics, technicians, whatever you call them. And that's about it. For the rest of you guys or gals, it's probably not going to help you any. But if you're a tech or mechanic, this will help you. Also, if you're in the automotive field as a service writer, service manager, director, and you happen to stumble upon this video, this will give you an idea of what your techs are probably doing and what they probably should be doing, and for them to be the most efficient, to be honest with you. So, this is some stuff that you should expect from them. And what I mean by that is, let them do their thing. You know what I mean? Let them set up their work week. So anyway, this is setting up your work week as a technician, as a mechanic. So let's get into it. Let's get down to the meat and potatoes and sort this all out. Alright guys, alright, so let's do this, let's break it down. So the importance of setting up your work week though is real, it's very important, I guess. I didn't know how to describe it there. It's very important, you know what I mean? I think it's a thing that's slept on, actually. Some people do it subconsciously and don't know it, so they don't realize that they do have a structure and they do well. And then some people don't have a structure at all, and they struggle, or they're very inconsistent. Right? Some weeks are really good, and they don't know why. Then the next week is really bad, and they just don't know why. All right. And so I'm gonna break it down. This is how it should be. Now, this can be tweaked. I'm not saying that I'm right, okay? I'm just telling you how I do it, how a lot of technicians I know do it, the best way to set it up. It may be different. It can be very different for different types of shops, different types of areas. But you should try this out and then tweak it to fit you, okay? Tweak it to fit you and your schedule and go from there. But this is a good baseline, and this is my line. This isn't a baseline for me. This is how I do mine day in and day out, okay? So, but it's very important for you to be efficient, be consistent, and make sure you draw a hard line. That way you're not getting pushed around by your writers, your service managers, stuff like that. They know what the deal is, they know what to expect from you, and they can make decisions around that, okay? They can operate and make decisions around how you do your day, okay? Because at the end of the day, without you there, they don't have anybody to fix cars. You know what I'm saying? Without mechanics, it's really up to you. Like I said before, guys, y'all are like the doctor. You're like the doctor. You are the doctor, okay? And everybody else is your nurses, your helpers and stuff, and they do a good job. It's not to degrade them or anything. It's just without you, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So your schedule is very important. At a doctor's office, everybody's based around the doctor's schedule. The scheduling is all based around them. So I'm just trying to stress that importance. That way you don't sleep on this. Just don't sleep on this. Alright? So let's go into it. I'm going to break it down how I do it exactly, and then I'm going to give you some tips and ways you can tweak it and stuff like that. Alright? First half of the day should be diagnosis only. Now, like I said before, if you're in a shop where you are a line tech, so what I mean by that is like a specific line. Like some of these American manufacturers have you either like as an alignment suspension specialist or whatever. So it may be a little bit different for you. Maybe you don't do diag at all. Maybe you've got a diag tech that does it all for you. If that's so, then you don't necessarily need to worry about that, and you'll just knock it out all week. You know what I'm saying? You'll just repair stuff. But for the majority of us, we're doing diagnosis. Even if we're a line tech, we're doing diagnosis on that specific line, whether it be AC, suspension, electrical, whatever. You still have to do diagnosis. So first part of the day, I always go from the beginning of my day till lunch. Lunch is my cutoff. Now, if you guys take a later lunch, you may cut off sooner. But my lunch is at noon, so right in the middle of the day, boom, cut off. After that, when I come back, it's repairs. So first half of the day is diagnosis, especially at the beginning of the week. And then the second half of the day is repairs, getting the repairs going. That way you can build momentum. I used to do this, but I didn't like it. I didn't know why I didn't like it at the time, but I would diagnose a car and then I would try to repair another one. Then I'd get another diagnosis ticket, so I'd go back over to it and then come back and not remember where I was. I like the fact that I'm diagnosing, so I'm in that diagnosis mind state, and then I switch over to repair mind state. There was something that a really, really good technician, I consider him my mentor, told me a long time ago. And he didn't realize, I don't think he realized exactly what he was telling me, but he tried to tell me that diagnostic techs can never be as fast as R&R techs, people who repair and replace, right? Or remove and replace parts all day long. They can never be as fast because they're in a diagnosis state of mind where you've got to think and be very methodical about things. He told me that, but I took that to make me a schedule, right? So it's not true. So what I do is, first part of the day, I'm in that mind state where I'm a little bit slower, but I'm thinking, right? I'm figuring it out. I'm diagnosing. And then after lunch, I turn it on, man. I switch over off of diagnosis mode, and I'm in R&R mode, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not thinking about diagnosing. I'm not in that mind state. I'm in R&R state. I'm in get this car out, get it fixed as fast as I can, get as many cars out as I can. So I found out that's the best of both worlds. So if you're having that issue, this might help you. This is how I do it, and I just suggest it, okay? So we'll break it down again. First part of the morning, diagnosis. Second part of the day, we are doing repairs only, okay? We're doing repairs only, and there's a couple of little exceptions there, but we'll get to them. So let me break down the week in general. So for most of you, and for me especially, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm probably going to diagnose all the way up to lunch, okay? Probably just going to happen. Probably going to diagnose all the way up to lunch. It's just the nature of the beast. When you get there the first of the week, you've got a stack of tickets that you have to diagnose. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday should be your haymaking season, or your haymaking part of the week, where you're doing very little diag in the morning and you're really just trying to cut them hours out, okay? So there's a couple of things that just popped in my mind that I want to bring up real quick. One of them being, if you write down your time or you're checking your time all the time, you might get a little scared. You know what I mean? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you might be a little scared if you start this off, okay? But I'm telling you, stick with it. Just stick with it and see, all right? You come in and you check your hours at the end of the day, Tuesday or Wednesday. It may not be what you think it should be. But guess what? That's because you're doing your diagnosing. So guess what? On Thursday and Friday, you're going to make up all them hours, I'm telling you. On Thursdays and Fridays, I usually flag 20 hours a day, okay? I'm making up my hours that I didn't make because I was diagnosing, but it can be done in those days. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So the key to this program that I'm giving you, the key to this setup that I've got, is that you want to get really good and fast at diagnosing, okay? This is to make you faster at diagnosing. The sooner you get done with your diagnosis, let's say you got a stack of tickets, the sooner you get done diagnosing those before lunch, because your lunch is your cutoff regardless, okay? I'm going to bring that up too, but the sooner you get done diagnosing those, the sooner you can get on your R&R stuff. So let's say you got your tickets and you're knocking them out, the diagnosing, and you get done diagnosing at 10. Guess what? That's an extra 2 hours of R&R you get to do. That's the extra 2 hours you get to make. You get to flag some time, okay? You get to flag some time. So, trying to think about what I was going to say next. Oh yeah. So, the other key to this is you're cutting it off at 12. I know I brought that up, but I mean that. So let's say you have a stack of 6 tickets. You only get 4 of them diagnosed by lunch. Those other 2 aren't getting diagnosed till the next day. They're just not. Now, there's a little Jesus, I can't find the word right now. Exception to that. There's an exception to that. If you got 2 tickets left, right, that you didn't get diagnosed at lunchtime. If after lunch you get your R&Rs done and you don't have any R&R left, Go back to diagnosing. So this thing is ever evolving, okay? It's ever evolving. But the hard rule you want to set is, if you come in at 8, let's just say you come in at 8 to 12, I'm diagnosing, and then after that it is R&R, okay? So if I don't get my diagnosing done, that's gonna have to wait till tomorrow. You need to draw that hard line, or you'll be diagnosing all the time. Some of you guys may be running into this. You may be diagnosing all day long. You're like, man, I never get any work done because I'm always diagnosing. Because you may be a really good diagnostic tech, and guess what? They're going to feed you heavy diagnosis cars because you're good at heavy diag, okay? So you have to set a hard line for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. They're just going to keep feeding you diag. And then at the end of the week, they're going to ask you why you aren't getting any cars fixed. And it's because you're diagging all day. You have to set that hard line for yourself in order for you to make money for the week. So you've got to set that hard line. Those cars will wait till tomorrow and you'll get them diagnosed. But the better you get at diagnosing, the less you'll have of that. The less carryover you'll have. Okay? So that's the hard rule. But like I said, you get done with R&R and you still got some time left in the day, get those diag done. That way you got a clean slate tomorrow. Let's say you come in on Tuesday and there are no diag tickets yet. Okay? You can get right on the R&R until you get some diag tickets. So it's always rolling, and you'll roll with the punches. As you can tell, I've been doing this a while. I'm starting to bring up little scenarios that happen. I've been doing it a while, and it works for me. I'm telling you, it changed my efficiency through the roof. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, and I tell a lot of technicians, new technicians, I know about this. However, they don't tend to listen, and like I said, they get discouraged because by Wednesday they look at their hours. And they're not at 24, which is 8 hours a day, right? They're not at 24 at the end of Wednesday, and they're pissed off, they're frustrated. They could say this doesn't work, but it's because they're not rolling with it, okay? You got to roll with the punches, and on Thursday and Friday, they don't realize that they're haymaking. Look, I've got all my diag done. Everybody knows that I'm not looking at anything else, and I'm just knocking out R&R. I'm telling you, you got to get it. You have to get it, though. After lunch, you got to grind. You got to make that money, okay? It has to be done. So that's it. Monday through Wednesday, we're probably going to diag up to lunch. If not, cool. We can get on our R&R. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we are doing some diag, but really, you should have most of it done, and you should be grinding, okay? So, like I said, set a hard schedule with your service riders. Your service riders need to know this. When you make this change, they need to know. What's cool is they will respect it. When I started doing this, they decided they would respect it. Okay, I noticed that they would respect it. They're like, okay, and so now they can tell their customers. They'll even message me now. They're like, it's like right before noon. They're like, notice you have not sent through for a diagnosis yet. Well, this is going to be tomorrow, right? And I'm like, yes. Tomorrow morning, I'll have you diagged on that one. So they're starting to respect it, and they're starting to know. And they also know that after lunch, you're going to knock out their cars for them. So they respect it, and they can set up their schedule. They can get their customers ready. One thing that makes your service rider's life easier, because it's so difficult for them talking to customers, okay? One thing that makes their life easier is when they know what their technician is doing. They know where their technician's at with the job, and they know what their technician's doing. So if they know, okay, Mr. Customer, he has not got to this today, he's not going to diag it today, you will have a diagnosis tomorrow morning. They can tell their customers. They feel better about that because they know what's going on, and it's not just up in the air, okay? So service riders will respect you for that. Now, a little thing that throws a kink in the plan sometimes is waiters. If you don't know what waiters are cars that come in at any random time that need to be looked at right then, right now, because the customer's waiting in the waiting room, and they will not go away, okay? Now, sometimes that could be your service rider's fault for not giving them a good expectation, and a lot of good dealerships will narrow that down and keep that from happening by not taking in waiters after a certain time, usually around lunch, maybe a little later, 2 o'clock, something like that, but they won't take any waiters in after that because it just slows down production, okay? And it's really inconvenient for the technician who's trying to get stuff done to have a waiter come in that they've got to look at immediately, that jumps right in front of everybody in line. That bugs the crap out of me. But sometimes it is what it is. Or maybe it's a quick job, you know what I'm saying? But waiters throw off everything. But you have to set your hard rule, okay? You have to set your hard rule, and they're gonna be like, okay, this guy's not gonna look at this waiter. I need to give this customer a realistic expectation. Maybe they need to bring their car back and set up an appointment. But you know, I know this is a pretty quick one, but I just really wanted to get this one out to anybody who's trying to improve their efficiency as a tech. It's important that you have a hard schedule. If you let it roll all the time, it's like anything else, man. You gotta have a routine, you gotta have a schedule. If you don't, things will get wonky, things will get weird, and you may get stuck in that rut I was telling you about, where you're doing diagnosis all day. Or you may get stuck in that rut where you're going from diagnosis to repair, diagnosis to repair, diagnosis to repair, where you never can get in one of those modes and get really good at it, because you're back and forth. Your brain that's two parts of your brain, I'm telling you. You know, when you're doing repairs, you're really like in flow mode, okay? You're really flowing and going. You're not really trying to think too much. It's like you're playing a sport, right? Where you're not thinking about what you're doing. You're just working it out and getting it done. Whereas diagnosis, like, you're in your thinking mind, okay? You're thinking, you're trying to get it figured out. You need all of your mental power and capacity to figure that out, and you need to be thinking, using your brain power the first part of the day, okay? So it's just important that you get a schedule down. Like I said, adjust it, you know what I mean? If you need to move that time around, your hard line, I call it, move that time around, maybe sooner, later. Maybe you're one of those guys that doesn't get as much diagnosis. You can move your hard line to earlier in the day, 9, 10 o'clock, maybe 11, and then do your R&R for the rest of the day. Cool. But just adjust it. But I'm telling you, give this a go. Give it at least a month, man. Give it a month. I know it's playing with your money. It might mess with you. But I'm telling you, when you get it figured out, if you follow this, listen to this. If you're serious about it, listen to this video. Listen to this podcast over and over and over till you figure it out. Write it down. And I'm telling you, this will work. This will help you. But in order for it to work, you have to stick with it. If you deviate from the plan, it all falls apart. Okay? It all falls apart. So anyway, I hope this helps you. If it does, please leave a comment, send me a DM, let me know if you got any questions about it. Maybe I didn't mention something that may be a problem, an issue. Send me a message or comment below. I will answer you, and we'll get it figured out, and I'll give you the best way to do it. If you want a sheet on this, let me know. I'll send you a sheet. I'll send you an email on it. That way you can do it step by step. But anyway, this has been your boy Stevie G, and we'll see you on the next episode. I'm out. Later.